Let's turn now to Representative Brian Mast, Republican of Florida. Congressman Mast served in Afghanistan as an Army bomb disposal expert, a duty that tragically cost him his legs. Congressman, I know you just finished up a vote. We've worked hard to get you on. We've pushed you down. We're glad to get you in. Let's start with this deadline that we've heard so much about. Do you think the U.S. can get this job done in essentially 8 days?
I don't think that we can get this done in the right way in 8 days. When you look at the vetting that needs to be done, the way we sort through people, where Americans are spread out to, who they're mixed in with, the Americans that haven't had the opportunity to get in contact with somebody in the right way, that maybe had to change locations in order for their safety. When you layer all of these things on top of the fact that every minute that goes by, the Taliban have a better understanding of the capabilities that they now have because of the high ground that they have, because of the way that we are encircled, and because of the quote unquote most advanced military weaponry that they now have in their hands, as President Biden stated.
It seems to me, Congressman, like we could say, look, we've been here 20 years. We're invested in this thing. We're on our way out. We'll leave when we're finished. Is that an option or no?
It's absolutely an option, but that comes from negotiating from a position of strength. The Taliban fundamentally do not want to seem weak. Remember, this is warlord lined up in front of another warlord, lined up in front of another warlord that's competing to say who's going to get to measure the drapes in Kabul. Now, whichever one comes up as the baddest warlord is ultimately going to be the one that takes control. If they go out there and say, no, okay, we'll give you an extra 8 days, we'll give you an extra month, that's not going to be the one that gets to measure the drapes, and that's what they're ultimately concerned about.
I want to play a clip for you, Congressman, if I can, from Army General Stephen Lyons, the Transportation Command General, talked about how U.S. troops are doing there today. Here's the clip. We'll talk after.
I won't lie to you, they're tired. They're probably exhausted in some cases. They are motivated, they are fired up, and they are committed to complete this mission.
Congressman, you earned the Bronze Star, the Medal for Valor, the Purple Heart. What are you seeing with your trained eye that maybe the rest of us might not be seeing?
Look, you have surrounding that airport the most capable individuals anywhere in the world. Your Army Rangers, your Marines, your Special Operations Forces there, the 82nd Airborne Division on a quick response force action, the most capable individuals. They can execute whatever it is that they are unleashed to go out there and execute, but that is the fundamental question there. And it's been the question for, what are we on, day 11 of this hostage crisis? It's been the fundamental question since the beginning. What are they authorized to go out there and unleash? How far can they push that perimeter? What are their rules of engagement? Are they going to really focus, as the White House has said, in making sure that this appears not to be a combat mission? And when you layer those kind of optical objectives on top of this already dangerous mission, it's a bad situation for our service members.
Congressman, I can't think of a better person to ask than you, considering what you've sacrificed in this war. But I'm sure you've seen the poll that finds a lot of Americans think this war was not worth it. Do you look at that in a way that maybe they're focusing on this exit versus the successes that you and your troops had there and that America had in this war?
There's a lot of success that was had to keep that war on terror, the battlefield, from being America's highways, Americans' roadways, America's malls and shopping centers and restaurants. And that's the truth. But I think the question needs to be phrased just a little bit differently. The question Americans asking are, is it worth it now? Is it worth it now that all of that blood, sweat, and tears, the blood of those that I served alongside, the sweat of those that went over there year after year, and the tears of the families that saw their loved one be buried in Arlington or somewhere else, since that's been pissed away, is it worth it? And here's the other side of the answer.
Was it worth it to you, Congressman? Was it worth it to you, seeing how it's ending here?
This is the answer that I would give to that. When the guys ran across a minefield to save my life, they did it because of their brother to their left and right. When I move across a field getting shot at by machine gun fire to get to one of my brothers, that's because of my brother to my left and right. That can never be taken away from any one of my service members. It's what makes it worth it entirely to me. I'd never trade for 1 minute, 2 legs and a finger for any one of my brothers to my left and right. They were worth it every second, every moment, and they'd be worth a hell of a lot more.
Well, that's a powerful way to send us out. Congressman Brian Mast, Republican from Florida and Afghanistan war veteran. Again, thank you for joining us. I know it was not easy. Appreciate your time.